right, we're going on a quick test drive here. The car has 29,260 miles on it. Steering wheel's perfectly straight. It doesn't have any type of shimmy to it. I'm in Sport Plus, so the suspension's going to be a little bit bouncy on this really bumpy road. The car shifts amazing. It sounds awesome. I'm going to hit the brakes here. Absolutely perfect. The steering wheel doesn't have any type of shimmy or shake to it when you apply the brakes. Picking up a lot of rocks and little debris on this road, so that's what the little noise is that you hear. Really no complaints with how the car drives. Everything's perfect. Absolutely gorgeous car. All right, we're gonna do a visual condition report. So we're looking for scuffs, scratches, chips, dings, any cosmetic imperfections that we can find. Starting with the front right wheel. You're gonna see little chips here and there. There's a gash on that spoke. I don't see any curb rash. But then on the spokes, you're gonna see the rock chips kind of peppered throughout right here. Looking at the caliper, nice bright yellow. Here on the fender, of course, on the paint, you're gonna have typical little swirls and tiny scuffs from just everyday washing. Overall, that looks good. Got the carbon here. There's a permaplate sticker. A-pillar looks nice. Got the carbon on the roof. Looks gorgeous. Very clean. That looks nice. Kind of scanning the door. Overall in great condition. Typical little fingernail scratches in that area. You do have PPF on this section protecting it. Now right here is some sort of texture on the paint. I believe this car had a vinyl wrap on it, and that is the residual glue left on it. Typical little rock impacts on the lower section, kind of bug splatter that's etched into the paint on that lower rocker. And scanning this quarter panel, that looks good. Do see some markings right here. Looks like some previous rash that was repaired, so that looks good. Typical little rock chips on the inner spokes. Rest of that looks good. Got the carbon here on that spoiler. We'll check that out in a second. All right, let's scan the front here. We'll start with the hood along this edge. A couple little scuffs. Few small rock impacts. Looks like a chip right here that's been touched up. There's a couple more chips, but it's very minimal. Overall, that hood is in great condition. Looking at the headlight, typical little rock impacts. A couple small rock chips on the paint here. Little specks on that plastic. A couple little swirls, little scuffs. It's very subtle though, and we're in perfect lighting, of course, so it's gonna enhance some of this. There's a little bug etching that's kind of stained the paint. You're gonna see some glue left over on the edge here. Typical rock impacts. A little bug splatter. A little etching from the bugs onto that splitter. Getting underneath. A little bit of rash. We have some rash on the edge right here. And then you have rash on this little panel, a little plastic piece. Of course, none of that can be seen when you're just walking around the car like normal. You got to be underneath it to see any of that rash. As you can tell here, it looks really good. All right, looking in the engine bay here, I'm just going to scan through some of it. You can see some stains or some sort of imperfections on the top of that cover. The carbon up here looks perfect. As you get closer to the back, you're going to see it is yellowing with the heat back there, which is really normal. The rest of that looks good. Here on the underhood liner, that's in great condition. Kind of scanning the fender. Overall in great condition. Looks good. Here on this wheel, typical rock chips on those inner spokes. I don't see any curb rash. The calipers look good. Here on the side mirror, looks really nice. A-pillar looks good. That door looks nice. Now we do have some scratches right here from getting in and out. And then you do have PPF on that section protecting it. Typical rock impacts in this area. That is mainly protected by that film though. And you're gonna have a couple little scuffs every once in a while, but they're all very, very subtle. And then you can see this black trim right here is fading. It's not super glossy anymore. And then I do see some little scuffs right here, and those aren't deep. I imagine they can be paint corrected out. When I'm saying the car is wrapped, you can see some residual there, it looks like. A little bit of blue here. So that's why there's some glue left on some of the corners. It's very minimal though. It's really on the other side that I noticed the most. That wheel looks good. Typical little chips here and there. All right, let's check out the back here. Got the massive carbon spoiler. I do see a small chip there. The rest of that looks awesome. Scanning the deck lid. That looks good. Glass is clean. That taillight looks good. Love that emblem. Got the gloss black AMG logo there. You have the carbon here, and it is yellowing, and the clear coat is kind of fading on it. And then you're going to see the same with this one. Looking at that diffuser. I don't see any rash. Got the gloss black exhaust here. See a little bit of rash right there. Of course, you got to get underneath the car to see any of that. But it looks like everything else is good. Here in the trunk, that carpet looks amazing. The underside looks good. Very clean back here. All right, checking out the interior. It is a non-smoker. This upper panel is perfect. Looking at all that Alcantara, looks nice. Got the carbon insert here, looks good. I don't see really any imperfections on that panel. It's pretty much perfect. A couple tiny scuffs here. That trim looks amazing. You're gonna have your typical wrinkles right there. Overall, that bolster is nice and firm. Very little wear here. Upper section looks amazing. I do see a little squiggly line here in the Alcantara, kind of a little scuff. Now the steering wheel is matted down. You can see that. It's not soft anymore. And you have a lot of wear here on the top as well. Buttons look amazing though. Here, all of that looks good. Looking at the upper side of the dash here, that looks nice. I do see some bubbling right there, a little bit of separation. If you can see that. And you got all this carbon. Looks good. Now with this gloss black, you're gonna have little scuffs. They're all very subtle. The rest of that looks good. That upper section looks perfect. All that Alcantara looks amazing. Got the carbon insert here, nice and clean. It's pretty much a perfect door panel. A couple little scuffs here. I love the smoked trim here. It looks really nice. Floor mats are perfect. That net over there looks good. Here on this bolster, nice and clean. That one looks good. That upper section looks nice. Got the yellow seat belts. Now you're going to see a couple little scuffs in the Alcantara. You can see these little secondary lines right there. I don't see any rips or tears though. Alcantara here on the side. Surrounds the glove box here. All of that looks really good. Upper side of the dash. That's in great condition. Full Alcantara headliner. Absolutely gorgeous.